Hi, I'm Kim and you're watching Kim Wilson TV. My channel is dedicated to helping victims of narcissistic abuse get free and stay free. This incredible global community of empaths just knows no boundaries. There's no limits within our community. And we have to remember at all times to be kind and supportive of each other. Now, it doesn't matter to me whether or not you absolutely know beyond a question of a doubt that the virus is a lie, or you believe 100% wholeheartedly that there's a dangerous pandemic sweeping the planet. That's unimportant. It's unimportant whether you're unvaccinated or vaccinated. All of that is unimportant. None of that is defining us as human beings, right? It doesn't matter if we're black or we're white or we're gay or we're straight or we're rich or we're poor. None of that matters. None of that defines us as human beings. But I would suggest now, looking out at the global condition, the things we do and say moving forward could have a great impact, and as big an impact as this world needs. Boy, oh boy, we're going to have to contribute to that. And for many of us who are still suffering with domestic narcissistic abuse, or maybe still trapped in the relationship, going through a divorce or child custody battle, or just in the early stages of coming to terms with what happened to you and starting the healing process. Sorry, we had a little barking. As I was saying, it doesn't matter where you are, in your healing process, or even if you're still stuck with the narc, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter what side of the political fence you're on. None of this stuff matters. What's important right now, regardless of where you are, regardless of what that condition or circumstance is that you grab the bull by the horns and you make that space as comfortable, as livable, as safe, as secure, as well stocked as you possibly can. If the virus threat was the biggest concern, yeah, that'd be great. We just have to flatten the curve, I guess. I don't know. We just keep flattening the curve and flattening the curve. Just carry on forever trying to flatten the curve. Holy crap. It's really important right now that we look beyond the virus story. We've got the virus just here jammed in our face daily, and we need to look beyond that. Let's look over the virus fence and see what we see on the other side of the virus fence, because holy crap, there's a lot going on, folks. Most of the Western nations are building massive confinement camps, I don't know, complete with crematoriums built on the grounds. Yeah, that's quite something, and that's everywhere. They're all over Canada, they're all over the US, they're all over the UK, they're everywhere. Those we cannot deny, those are right there, you can see them, they're observably obvious, they are what they are, they're there. And yeah, no conspiracy theory there, folks, those things are real. Why? Why is that happening? I don't know if people are aware of what's going on with military movement, but there's huge military movement in all the Western nations. Food supply chains are completely broken. Well, all supply chains are broken. The global commodity index is through the roof. I mean, steel's up 1,200%, and, commodities like beans, rice, sugar, coffee, tobacco, these types of commodities are up, 300 to 600%. There's a lot going on, and I think most of us would agree, and you don't have to be a financial expert or, Wall Street business tycoon to know that if you shut the global economy for 1 month, if money stops changing hands for 1 month, you are in clear and obvious danger. I mean, almost 2 years in, the possibility of us escaping this without some utterly earth-shaking event. I mean, how will the global currency survive? Money is not changing hands. People aren't working, businesses are closing. So, there is a very real financial concern out there. And I think if everybody keeps looking at the virus, or if you're looking at the virus thinking it's not real, or you're looking at the virus thinking, oh, this is real for sure, none of that's important. That should never be what divides you from a fellow human being. I mean, everybody's got their right to their opinion, and whatever line of research you went down, that's probably where your knowledge came from. It's just that simple. But the food shortages are going to affect everybody. The believers and the unbelievers, the vaxxed and the unvaxxed, the blacks and the whites, the rich and the poor. Everybody is going to be affected by food shortages, gasoline shortages, commodity shortages, and extremely high prices. And when dollars start to fall and prices start to go up, I mean, this isn't your average case of, a little inflation here. I mean, we are looking straight down the barrel of the very real possibility of hyperinflation. There are very real and very alarming things happening here on planet Earth. In fact, in several countries now, Australia being one of them, if you can possibly believe it, Israel being another. I believe they're starting in France soon, and even possibly in Quebec in Canada. I think they're moving ahead with legalizing removing children from unvaccinated parents. I mean, this is just outrageous. Outrageous. I'm going to tell you, if you're one of these people that have been sitting there thinking, wear your mask, social distance, use the bacterial hand gel to fight a virus, if you've been thinking all this stuff, you've been super distracted. You have not seen beyond that virus fence at all because your focus is on the virus. And, let's just all together collectively, see the virus as a wall, and we need to look over it and see what's going on, because I think, what's going to ultimately impact us the most is on the other side of that virus fence. And we need to, open our eyes, start looking around. When somebody's constantly trying to distract you, virus, 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 look here, that's the time for you to start looking outward and see, why do they want me to look here? What's going on over there? Since this thing started, Bill Gates has become the largest holder of American farmland, bar none. It's him. Did anyone see that coming? All these tens of thousands, hundreds of thousands of homes that have gone up for sale, were purchased, with inflated prices, causing a housing bubble. And it was one company, it's BlackRock, that bought all of those homes, all, and are permanently removing them off the market. They're going to become rental units. If you have an inquisitive mind and you want to figure out how all the dots are connected and the role Bill Gates and BlackRock are playing in all of this global unrest, I guess we could call it that, check out the channel Amazing Polly at BitChute. She is probably one of the best investigative reporters alive today, and I strongly encourage you to take a look at that channel. So I think it's safe to say that just at a brief glance over the virus wall, we have food shortages, we have thousands of hectares of crops destroyed, we have extreme weather conditions destroying crops, the supply chain is broken, nothing's moving, the global financial situation is shaky at best, and massive concentration camps are being built everywhere. It looks like people's own governments and police have become willing, if not eager, to step up in defiance to them, limiting their rights and personal freedoms. Our elected officials, if that's what you want to call them, I don't believe for 1 second any of them are elected, have all gone rogue. Each and every one of them, I mean, absolutely treasonous in their behavior. So there's a lot going on. So as we move forward with this series, it's going to be really important that we disconnect a bit from the virus story. And again, whether you believe it or not is unimportant. We need to look at what else is going on, because there's a lot of stuff going on, and you can protect yourself now. even waiting a little bit longer, could result in something that we just can't turn back. So, while we can, I think it's really important that, we get to some very serious prepping. And I don't mean get ready to run into the mountains and light a fire and burn the forest down. No, I'm not talking about any of that crazy stuff. I'm talking about safeguarding your home a little bit, making sure your life is a bit more sustainable. You don't have to do giant things, right? You just need to do something to ensure you're going to be a bit safer. And we're going to talk about all those things. If you have any specific questions that you'd like me to address, I mean, of all the things I've kind of listed, supply chains being broken, having limited access to things that you're accustomed having easy access to, crops being destroyed all over the world, grain shortages, corn shortages. I mean, this is happening everywhere. Rice shortages. When you start looking at the rising prices, I mean, holy cow, that should be a concern for everybody. But if you have a question about a specific area of, some of the things that are going on behind the virus wall, please leave them in the comments below, and I'll do an entire Q&A video around your questions. Anyways, guys, so nice to see you again, and thank you so much for visiting me. I do believe that there is going to be a very bright light at the end of this tunnel. And if we just continue to work together, help to keep each other up to speed, and help to ensure that each and every one of us, has done the best we can do with whatever resources we have to ensure our families are going to be a little bit safer throughout all of this. I wish I could say that I thought this was over, but yeah, it doesn't look like it is. And right when you think, a great amount of pressure has been applied to a country, when they're being called out for crazy restrictions or being dragged into court for crazy restrictions, I think we were all pretty hopeful that, legal teams and courts and falling back on our charters of rights and our amendments and our constitutions, being able to fall back on these things would be a great safety net. And it looks like most of these things are failing. It looks like it's failing. It looks like our police and our military are, completely willing to back this stuff, and violate their fellow citizens' rights. It's looking pretty crazy. But again, I think there's going to be a really bright light at the end of this tunnel. Maybe some of these systems needed to be collapsed and rebuilt. I mean, look at the mess of the educational system. Look at the mess of the medical system. Look at the mess of the political system. I mean, it's just absolutely crazy. There's people going hungry in first world countries. Maybe it's time, that some of these old and broken systems are collapsed and rebuilt from scratch, with some pure intention versus, a lot of the evil that's been behind many of these things. Anyways, I love you guys lots, and I hope you're having a great narc-free day. It's great to see you guys. If there is something specific, food, medicines, natural medicines, wildcrafting, things that you can do, please leave them in the comments, and I'll certainly get to that, or maybe be able to make entire videos around your questions. Anyways, I'm Kim. You're watching Kim Wilson TV, and you best be having a great narc-free day. Bye.